Our second speaker, again for your guests, is delivering an icebreaker. The icebreaker is the first speech in the Competent Communicator Manual. And it's your first opportunity to get up and share something with us in a formal, planned way. And the objective is to let us get to know you as well as having you be able to deliver your first speech. Second speaker this morning has tried a few different careers and then decided to go back to school and take up photography. He is finishing up his last photography class at RCP right now and plans on being a fine art photographer for the rest of his life. He recently won the Skills USA College Division Photography Contest for Region 6 and then the state of California, and will be competing against the rest of the country for a week in Louisville, Kentucky in June. Wonderful. I'm a photographer as well. We need to talk. Donnie's interested in excited about learning to become a better speaker and so far has been enjoying the Toastmasters experience. And that's assuming he makes it through his first speech, of course. Speaking for 5 to 7 minutes, the title of his speech is Twist and Turn. Please help me welcome Don Welton.
Hey buddy, can you help me? I'm looking for the straight and narrow. Sometimes I get a little bit lost. How in the world had I got where I was at? We twist and we turn. We twist and we turn. I was still shocked at what I had become. If you'd asked me 30 years ago, it could never happen. But here I was. I wanted to stop, but the money had gotten good. It was easy. I kept thinking it was going to be just a short little experiment. We had moved to a new city, and before I went out and got a real job, I decided to just try this and see what happened. And I was making money. It was hard to stop. I was dealing. I'd become a dealer. Not a user, but a dealer. Not dealing to kids. How did I get there? So after being a pastor for 13 years, then a manager at American Express Financial Advisors, then running 2 different Edward Jones offices, one of them here in California, down in Coronado Island. Here I was a dealer. Relocating again, starting over, twisting and turning, twisting and turning, looking back for that narrow straight road. I remember we had just located up in Temecula. My ex-wife, she turned to me and said, you know, I was looking at her, we were talking, we were discussing, I said, you know, I can't believe I'm starting over again. And it's a longer discussion than we can have today, the moves I had made, but you know, sometimes you twist and turn in life. You twist and you turn, you twist and you turn, and every single move I made sense at the time. But somehow when you add them all up together, you're lost. And I told her, I can't believe I'm starting over. And she looked at me and just kind of off the cuff said, well, you like people and you're good with numbers, why don't you just go deal? So there I was, I'd gone to Pachanga and become a dealer. Blackjack dealer. Now I was a fun dealer at least, but it's still a bit of a jump from pastor. It's a bit of a jump. And so I tap into my tables, you know, you tap to clear, and for years, now it's been quite a few years, but for years, everywhere I went, I would like, somebody want to shake hands, and you're clearing, showing the camera, and I'll in my hand. And, but I was a fun dealer, and I'd get on there, and I'd tap in, and I would, you know, get on the table, and I'd say, hey everybody, let's have fun, I'm Don, let's see if we can have some fun tonight, and they'd all look at me like, who in the world is this crazy nut? But in a few minutes, they'd all be laughing and having fun, and if they got blackjack, I'd be woohoo, you know, and somewhere in there, I'd win a couple hands in a row, usually pretty quick, unfortunately. And I'd say, we got to get Uncle Don busted. And somebody would jump in on this and say, yeah, come on, Uncle Don. And the next thing you know, they're placing bets for the dealer. That's how you get your tips. And that's why it was hard to leave. $2,000 a week I averaged in tips. Wow. Very tax efficient. Legally, You know, I signed a compliance agreement, and for my shift it was $38.64 an hour. That every hour I worked, the IRS assumed that's what I made in tips, and I blew that away. It was a fantastic opportunity. I never worked 8-hour shifts. It was swing shifts. We'd get off at 2 in the morning. I'd start at 6. You know, this isn't Vegas. This is Temecula. People go home. They got to go to work tomorrow, so they start closing games. As they close games, if you want to go home early, you have to go home early. So I'm going home, you know, I'm working a 4-hour shift most nights and doing 2,000 a week in tips. So how in the world have I gotten there? Anyway, then my wife cheated. Not going to get into that, but we got single. I was single and dealing in this largest casino in the state of California, one of the largest casinos in the entire country. And I remember thinking, I'm like a diabetic in a candy factory. There's women everywhere. And I'm single. I'm twisting and turning and twisting, I don't know. But it started out as this little experiment. I thought, well, it might be fun. I'll go see what a 6-week course. I went on this little 6-week course to learn how to deal. They told me I remember my first night, and you're a little nervous. I told my boss, so my first night, he goes, you'll be okay, In about a month, you'll start to relax. 5 minutes into it, I relaxed. It was fun. I was having a party. I was just like a natural thing. It was just fun. Anyway, that's a different story too. I knew I didn't need to be there. That was not my natural environment. Church was my natural environment. 13 years being Pastor Don and all that kind of stuff. So the Uncle Don, that's all I know. People would talk to me and I go, well, I don't want to say I'm Pastor Don. I'm not Pastor Don anymore. I'm in this casino. So Uncle Don just came out, and it seemed to work, and they tipped like crazy once I became family. I think they're afraid if they didn't tip me, I'd come live with them. I don't know. But anyway, I was there long enough that all my securities licenses had expired. I had a Series 6, 7, 24, 63, and 66. They'd all expired, and I knew I needed to get out of the industry. But it's another long story, but I finally ended up back down in San Diego, and now I'm the general manager of a Taco Bell. I was thinking outside the bud. I remember, I felt like I had become the joke of what not to do. Don't follow this guy, he's crazy. Never mind. Anyway, I remember I had this wonderful employees. Half of them lived in Mexico. Half of them came up from TJ. I was managing in Chula Vista, the East Street Taco Bell in Chula Vista, and it's right by a trolley stop. I was a trolley operator for 10 weeks. I hated it. But anyway, they would come right up the trolley every day to work. They left 2 hours before their shifts came because they had to get across the border and all that. And but I had been a tough situation, but I loved them. I hired this homeless man, bought him new undies and some deodorant, and gave him the uniform. And my boss, the owner, one of the owners, he comes up and he goes, "Did you really hire a homeless man?" I said, "Well, he's got a van he lives in." So I don't know if he's really homeless. And I just thought he deserved a chance. But these kids would come in, and they were from this technical school that was close by, and they would come in, and they'd have all these books carrying them, but they never read them. And I said, well, when are you going to read them? If you don't get studying, you're going to end up working here for me at Taco Bell. And they go, no, that'd be fun. I said, no, you think it'd be fun, but it won't be fun. This church group came in. Sometimes things happen and you don't know why, and you don't know why you said what you said, but they came in, and I remember turning to one of them and I said, well, just be careful. If you twist and turn too much and you get off the straight and narrow, you might end up at Taco Bell. And I thought, oh, that hit a little close to home. And I think we all know, where twisting and turning takes us. And we begin to get off. It's hard to stay on the straight and narrow if we're twisting and turning, and we get off the right road. We know where the broad road's going to lead us. The broad road's going to lead us straight to Bell, Taco Bell.